Welcome back to Get Carpet Paddling. Today we're working on drills. Today we're going to work on some drills with our whole team. Depending on the age and experience level of the athletes, we will be doing different drills. For some of the younger kids, we're really focused on those balance drills and staying comfortable in those boats. As we move to more experienced paddlers, we'll see more technical drills start to form, and we'll work on their setup, catch, pull, and exit, which are the 4 phases of the stroke, with different drills focused for different parts of the stroke. We just worked with Giada. She, as like many newer paddlers, like less than a year or two, they are very reliant on the pressure of the water to keep them up in their boats. And we don't want them to be reliant of their paddle staying in the water, because a lot of the stroke happens out of the water, in the air. You're recovering, you're setting up for the next stroke. And if we're not stable enough to keep our paddle out of the water, we're not able to set up our stroke out of the water appropriately. So we did 2 drills with Giada. We did the pause drill, where we're simply holding the setup, trying to get ourselves really comfortable with getting outside of the water and holding our setup. The second drill that we did is the recovery drill, where we exit quickly and we slowly return to our catch. This drill really helps with feeling the glide of the boat between each stroke, and again takes the reliance off of the pressure of the water, and instead athletes have to find the stability within their own core. We just talked with Mia. She's a newer athlete on the team, only been paddling for really a year in a sprint kayak, and she's been working on not dipping her boat and feeling comfortable rotating. So rotating is still a newer concept for her, so she's trying to really just be comfortable moving the hips and letting the boat move under her. So today we worked on the swing drill. The swing drill, I do not think that we named it or we created it, but it's super helpful to let athletes feel comfortable getting their paddles out of the water and being able to rotate. So what we do is we have them do 3 strokes in the water with the best rotation that they can do, and then they do 2 swings in the air, hitting their setup each stroke. Progressions that you can do for less stable or more stable athletes. For the less stable athletes, you are welcome to make sure that they just swing with their upper body. So they hit their setup and their setup, and so they practice hitting a phase of the stroke. For more experienced athletes, then we will practice them rotating with their hips, which is what Mia worked on today. For very experienced athletes, we would do the swing drill with no paddle. So we would have them arm paddle or simply just swing in their boat and try and hit their setups and rotate with no paddle at all. This really helps them build confidence within their boats without the use of the paddle. Here we see Ashley and Johanna in a C2. They were really struggling with some leaning and not being quite together in the boat. So we do a really fun drill. This is one that we do, especially on warmer days, where we take the paddle out of a canoeist. Now, it's a lot harder to take a paddle away from a canoeist than it is for a kayaker, but I still find it useful to help them feel the boat a little bit better. So we took Ashley's paddle away from her, and what we do is we have Johanna rotate as if she was paddling and have Ashley try and simulate the stroke. What they find is that they have to rotate together or else Ashley goes in. They cannot rely on the stability of the paddle to make up for the fact that they're not rotating together. Then the progression of that would be that Johanna would start to take those baby strokes, and they would feel the way a boat would move if they were paddling, and Ashley has to sync up with Johanna. Anytime Ashley is not in sync with Johanna, they go in. Here we see James and Scott. They are both K1 boys. James is quite a bit younger. He's in a more stable boat, and Scott has been on the team for another year on top of James's experience. So what we see is we worked on 2 versions of the tap drill. The first version is the top arm. We worked on the top arm placement, being able to come up into your setup and then down into your catch. To work on that, they do 3 strokes easy, and then they go into their setup, they hit their catch, and they come back up. This is a tap drill that we use to really focus on the placement of that front arm. Similarly, we have a tap drill for the back arm. It's called the ear tap drill. It is useful to have them touch their ear and bring it back so that they know the exact placement of that back arm. So, not quite, girls.